Hello everyone and a warm welcome to 1000 PS TV and specifically to the pleasure ride with the new Honda NT1100 DCT-ES. What do all those letters stand for? DCT is probably familiar by now. We have drive or sport to switch between, and this is Honda's dual clutch transmission at its latest iteration. The NT also now features corner angle dependent traction control and ABS, meaning it has an IMU installed. Plus, there's electronic suspension. Now let's see how it rides. Where are we anyway? We've again settled into a motorhome, so nice and easy, kicking off in drive mode. I'll just show you how tall it can be. The wind protection remains good, but at my height of 6 feet 1 inch it does start to buzz at motorway speeds, something the old one didn't do. But now in 27 degrees, you're grateful for every breeze. So down goes the screen. One notch lower, yes. Now in S1, I always say it, S1 on the Honda. The drive mode is tuned for optimal fuel economy, and yeah, I actually meant to tell you where we are. In Slovenia, because this year there's a motorhome site called Motovlog. And it's right in the heart of Slovenia, letting you tour in every direction. Down to the sea, into the mountains to Triglav, into the Soča Valley. As far as the eye can see, truly fantastic routes. And on one of those rides we are right now. The Hotel Grof recommended it. Thanks for that, by the way. There's one change from the standard kit on the NT that I have to mention for transparency. Fitted for our tour is the Metzeler Roadtech 02. A really cool tour tire. We've already covered around 1,200 kilometers, and I've got to say, it builds grip quickly, and even in the high temperatures we had. Thinking 34, 35 degrees in the shade, it didn't start to smear, and that's impressive on the NT, which comes in at a decent weight and has panniers from factory. It's really a great tire. Even in the wet section we hit on the motorway, I never felt uneasy. Water drainage was already a strong suit of the previous Metzeler Roadtech 01 and 01 SE. There's another bike from us, the Kawasaki Versys, to which we also film a motovlog. The Roadtech 01 SE is well regarded too, and the 02 is a worthy successor. The sidewalls are still pure slick style, so it grips well. The dual compound mix is high level for warm-up time, but enough about the tire. Otherwise, you get the bike in Austria for around 19,299 euros, and of course cheaper in Switzerland and Germany. I'll link exact prices below in our marketplace. You get a fully equipped tourer. Now, with electronic suspension, the NT really rises to a level not to be shied away from by luxury class bikes. So now we'll look for somewhere to pass this rider. You can also write in the comments what you think about the Honda. If anyone can pronounce that one in front of me, let me know in the comments as a voice message. If that works somehow, I don't know. But anyway, I'd like to overtake them. This is really narrow here, which is usually nice, but Slovenians tend to be generous. Maybe they'll let me past. Ah yes, really tight. I'll check in when I've overtaken, let's not stress. Right, I'm past now and we can carry on. Very nice. I was saying that the NT has now moved into the luxury class. and it was built as the Africa Twin for the road. Wow, that divine sound is still there. Hallelujah. But it did miss a few comfort features that the Adventure Sports already had long ago, namely electronic suspension, and that suits it brilliantly. Firstly, there's quick adjustment. I'll show you quickly on the display. There's a symbol with two helmets. I've set it to rider plus load. You can also choose passenger or no load. That's great and lifts it to a new level, especially in sporty riding. The old NT hit the bump stops quite early. Yes, it had adjustable suspension, but I'm lazy and didn't fiddle often. And here I can switch with a push of a button. It's tied to the ride modes. I'll just switch to urban mode now. It's a bit slow, unfortunately. There's still lag. In rain it's on soft, in urban on medium, and in tour on hard. See, there's not a soul here. Things are calm in Slovenia. This is real motorcycling bliss. Electronic suspension, a massive step forward, increased cornering clearance in hard mode. Like a sport setting, but much better than what was fitted or still fitted on the standard NT without DCT. Sometimes the DCT intervenes to use the engine braking of the potent twin-cylinder, which is separately adjustable. Here, engine brake shows on the display. I can set it in 3 stages and it really does something. It's just that huge displacement, 1077 cubic centimeters, and maximum torque of 112 Newton meters. So there's plenty going on. For a tourer, it's perfectly matched. And the gearing is still quite long. You see, I'm riding mostly in second. You could go even higher, but with the new, even greater torque, the longer gearing doesn't bother me like it did its predecessor. I mentioned earlier that the IMU is in here now. So traction control and ABS work depending on the lean angle, as it should in 2025 for this class. No need to worry. And of course, when the road gets slippery, you're glad to have traction control, because those 112 Newton meters tug hard, even on a high grip Metzeler road tech. But if the surface is slick, then that net is really welcome. By the way, I have a second perspective you've probably seen repeatedly. A few words on that. It's the new Insta360X5, a 360-degree camera we're now using more over at 1000 PS. It has a practical reason. It lets us get both landscape and portrait formats from one video. In an age where social media is ever more important, it's a universal weapon and produces fantastic images. Also, you can see that beside the 2 standard panniers on the NT, as a top box alternative, I've fitted the SW Motec rear bike, a practical addition we regularly use at the 1000 PS office. It's quick to mount and dismantle and expandable if you need more space, no problem at all. A few more words on wind protection on the NT. It's always a topic on tour. Down low, everything is still extremely solid. On hot days like today, you might wish for a bit less protection. Anyway, here's the panorama again. I'm going to turn because we don't want to annoy anyone in the town area, as our German viewers might say. At Sveti Petar, St. Peter, we'll turn around. And I tell you, the DCT is so superior. Smooth in first, a bit of rear brake. You know, it's just brilliant. So thank you, Honda, for this evolution. We had other systems in our test. We were touring with 4 bikes, from a quick shifter to Yamaha's new YAMT. But hand on heart, the DCT is unbeaten, whether in sporty riding with extremely fast intervention, bam, next gears in, or in cruising in urban traffic. It's truly a superior technology. It fits perfectly. And the sound of the AMT engine is always a joy. Offset crank, twin cylinder, and that lovely knobbly Metzeler tire. It's pure pleasure, I tell you. And once you're moving, and that's the magic of the NT for me, the kilos just vanish. Same with the braking. See, I hit the hazard lights. The braking is really solid. The weight isn't too much for the NT's brakes. And also with corner ABS, as we mentioned, very little can go wrong. Because I was talking about the engine just now, we're pushing a bike riding on of roughly 400 kilos with all panniers, camera equipment, etc. And that's how we've ridden it for the past days. Fully loaded. Yet the fuel consumption is 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers, even though we've given it some welly here and there. That's this great engine, which under Euro 5 Plus hasn't suffered, but instead has improved. And you can notice that you lean in, hit a bump, and the semi-active suspension irons it out. You hold the line, no problem. That's what makes motorcycling a real joy. And yes, the fuel consumption at 4.9 liters, that's impressive. And again, despite full-on power potential in every scenario, I just glide over it. I don't even feel the bumps. I see them, but I don't feel them. So Honda, you've really nailed the suspension. Speaking of nails, this one's in black. I had it as a long-term test in 22, and this year Honda listened. There's now a color, hold on to your hats. It's also available in blue, and I'd have much preferred that. But the test bike was black. If I may wish for next season, and to close this ride through the Slovenian mountains and hills, I hope Honda dares another color. Maybe a burgundy red. Goldwing had it once in a really elegant shade. It'd suit the NT well, and to me it's the Goldwing of the little guy. Because it isn't so little and not that cheap, but value for money, it's definitely on a par with Honda's luxury tourer. Is there anything else I can reveal? The seating position is supple. At my 6'1", I'm comfortable. You can ride long legs in the saddle. It's really well furnished. A minor downside is the heat and the wind protection, but that's it really. And yes, out here in this Slovenian dreamland, you can enjoy life, the good vibrations. We also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. It's still wired with a USB port on the front right of the inner fairing. We also have a 12-volt socket on the left if you need USB-C, for example. And be glad of the Varahan's line when someone meets you that way. Still, I wouldn't have wanted the collision, but I'd rather be on the NT than another bike, frankly. So I'm weaving up here again, and now I'll shut my mouth. You can enjoy the sound for as long as you like. I'll say thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. If you liked my chatter, give the NT and maybe me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. We'll hear from each other soon in the saddle. If you subscribe, you won't miss the other productions that came from the motorhome tour. We had exciting bikes, a Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus, a Triumph Tiger Sport 800, and the Kawasaki Versys 1100 SE. Really exciting bikes. Great days with Gregor, Emily and Shaf. And now I'll keep my promise and say nothing more and you can listen. Have a nice day.